Most boats and some cars and caravans are fitted with fixed glazing window sills. These rubber seals hold the perspex or glass into the aperture. These products were originally trademarked as Claytonrite around the 1950s, but are now commonly known as glazing window rubber seals. Over time, these seals may shrink, perish, and become less effective, so should be replaced to prevent water ingress and damage. I am going to show you how to take measurements to identify the best replacement seal, and then demonstrate the steps required to fit the new window rubber into your boat or van. Your current seal should look very similar to what we have here. It is essentially a H-shaped rubber seal with 3 slots. The gap on the left clips over the wall, and the gap on the right holds the glass or perspex. These slots are interchangeable, so you can insert your panel or glass into either slot. The third slot on the top takes a filler strip. This is a separate rubber extrusion that is inserted into the seal to apply compression down onto the glass and onto the panel. This is the part that holds the rubber seal tight onto the edge to create a watertight seal. This section also has a solid piece of rubber between the two gaps. This is known as the web thickness and stipulates how much smaller the glass should be in comparison to the size of the aperture. These glazing rubbers are available in a large range of sizes depending on the thickness of your glass and the thickness of your panel. Each size will seal approximately -1 mil, so if you have a gap which is 5 mil, you can insert either a 4 or 5 mil panel into that gap. Before we can take measurements of the thickness of the panel and the thickness of the glass, we need to remove the existing glazing window seal. You should start by removing the filler strip, which usually has a join at the bottom of the section. You can do this by locating the end and inserting the glazing tool into the join. Hook the end of the filler strip to release it from the channel, and then you can gently pull it out all the way around the window seal. The next step is to remove the window pane. Insert the glazing tool into the top of the seal and hook it under the lip around the back of the window. Gently lever the window forwards until it separates from the rubber. You may need to insert the glazing tool and lever forwards at several different points around the rubber seal. Once the glass has been removed, you can then remove the seal from the aperture. Glazing window rubber seals are sold in a large range of sizes depending on the thickness of your panel and the thickness of your glass or perspex. We're going to need to measure these two items before we can find a replacement section that sits tight onto the glass and tight onto the panel. So if we measure this, it comes up at 5 mil thick. And if we measure the body of our boat, this comes up at 6 mil thick. So when we buy a replacement section, we need something with a slot on one side for our 5 mil glass and a slot on the other side for our 6 mil panel. If the body of your boat is made from fiberglass, you're going to want to take this measurement at several different intervals. Fiberglass is inherently very inconsistent in its thickness, so we need to take it at several different intervals to work out the thinnest part and the thickest part so that we can buy a replacement section that allows for that range of size. We also need to calculate the web thickness. Just to give a quick reminder, this is the thickness of the solid piece of rubber between the two gaps on our glazing seal. So to calculate this, we need to measure the width of our aperture, and we also need to measure the width of our glass or perspex pane. So what we're trying to calculate is the difference in size between these two items. So we need to know the size of the gap on the left-hand side of the window pane and the size of the gap on the right-hand side of the window pane. So for the purpose of this example, if we assume that this is 1000 millimeters, and we assume that the width of our window pane is 984 millimeters, when we deduct one from another, that gives us a difference of 16 mil. So if we divide that in two, we know the gap on either side is 8 mil. So we want to take this measurement at several different points around the window to check that we get the same answer all the way around. If it is consistent and we have an 8 mil gap all the way around the window pane, we need to find a replacement section that has a web thickness of around 6 to 8 mil. The last step is to measure all the way around the aperture to work out how many meters of glazing window seal we need to purchase. It's best to buy slightly more than you require, as when you fit the seal, you want a nice tight butt fit on the end to apply a good amount of compression and create a good watertight seal. Once you have measured the thickness of your panel and the glass or Perspex, you are ready to order a replacement product. We sell these glazing window rubber seals in a large range of sizes designed to fit different panel thicknesses. This selection will allow you to purchase a replacement seal that is a near match to your current profile. This will help provide a long-lasting sealing solution. As previously said, these sections will seal approximately -1 mil, so you can fit a roughly a 4 to 5 mil thick panel into a 5 mil slot. However, we wouldn't recommend inserting anything thicker than 5 mil into a 5 mil slot because this risks putting additional stress on the seal and potentially you could cause it to split. With fiberglass, we recommend trying to sand it down so it's a consistent thickness all the way around. We do find in some instances customers advise us that they've got like a 2 mil part and a 4 mil part. Well, that's just too much of a difference. Ideally, you want to try and bring the 4 mil down to at least 3 mil, so it's almost the same consistent thickness all the way around the panel. After purchasing a new window rubber and filler strip, you can start fitting the new seal. If you're fitting more than one window, cut the seal to length, ensuring that you have a slight overlap so you can get a tight butt fit once you have gone all the way around and you've got to the end. Start by fitting the window rubber over the panel. Double check that you choose the correct orientation of the seal so that the panel goes into the correct gap. You will need to position the seal so that the filler strip groove is on the outside. Start at the middle of the top of the window aperture and work your way around, pushing the seal tightly against the panel edge, especially in the corners. Once you have been all the way around the window aperture and are back to where you started, cut the seal to length, ensuring that it is a fraction over length. Push the final end in place so that it has a very tight butt fit. Squirt a small amount of diluted washing up liquid into the groove of the window rubber which will hold the glass. This will lubricate the rubber and make the window easier to fit. You will want to do this at various points around the seal so that there is lubrication in all of the section. Take the glass or Perspex pane and push it into the groove in the window rubber. Using a glazing tool, lever the glass into the groove all the way around. Go slowly so that you don't damage the rubber or the window pane. Once you have fitted the window into the window rubber, the final step is to fit the filler strip. Before doing this, pour a small amount of washing up liquid into the filler strip channel in the window rubber. Starting at the middle of the bottom, insert the glazing tool into the groove and place the filler strip into the loop of the tool. Run the tool around the groove following the length of the filler strip. This should place the filler strip into the groove. Once you have fitted the filler strip all the way around, trim off any excess, making sure that it is slightly longer so that you can get a tight compression fit. Thank you for watching. I hope that was a useful demonstration of how to fit a fixed glazing window rubber seal into an aperture. As we said previously, these seals are commonly used on boats, some caravans and some classic cars, and we supply them in a very large range of sizes designed to fit different panel and glass thicknesses. Most of the seals available from us are available by the meter, so you can buy as much or as little as you like, whether that is 1 or 2 meters to go around a small classic car window, or 30, 40, 50 meters if you're refurbishing multiple boats. These are usually kept in stock, so we can pretty much always get them out the same day for delivery the following day. We also have a large range of other technical help documents available on our website for fit and seal similar to these if your profile doesn't quite match this section. Thank you.